in 2024, there was more than $400 million of federal research grant money for life science and biotechnology, and more than $90 million in equity investments in startups and biotechnology. That is nearly $500 million in life science and biotechnology in 2024 alone in Charlottesville, Virginia, ladies and gentlemen. This is an eye-popping number. And we haven't seen the impact of a number like this, investment of this magnitude yet. I think we've done a good job of highlighting what's coming down the pipe, but perhaps we could do it yet again on today's edition of the I Love CVille show. We did not get to the food and beverage news from yesterday. Judah, this will be a story that you relay to the viewers and listeners, along with the Jefferson Council headline, 2 contributions from the jack of all wits, the jack of all trades, the beloved Judah Wickower. Beloved?
Either one works.
Either beloved or beloved works?
Yeah.
The beloved Judah Wickower contributing 2 key headlines. We'll let you set the stage on those as time comes up. Can I accurately make this comment that Dr. Bryce is courageous and fearless?
Yeah. I mean, she knew the response she'd get.
Right. She knew the response she would get, right?
Yeah.
Thick-skinned. I can describe her as thick-skinned, right?
I think so. I think that fits.
Resilient. Some of the community choosing choice words to describe what she has, her pursuit of a position on the school board. Really want to get live on LinkedIn if you can make that happen, J-Dubs. Are we live on LinkedIn?
We are live.
Judah Wickower, so good. Which headline intrigues you the most, Judah B. Wickower?
I think reading the Jefferson Council article on grant caps was very eye-opening. It says a lot about, I think it says a lot about the schools, not just UVA. He mentions a couple other schools as well, but those NIH
Is this
caps,
Bacon, Jim Bacon?
let me double check just so
I would imagine it's Jim Bacon.
Yes, it's written by James Bacon.
He is a prolific, Mr. Bacon, a prolific writer. Mm-hmm. Prolific writer. I mean, the guy has got to be penning 500 to 1,000 words almost 4 to 5 days a week. Prolific writer.
Yeah, and there's not a whole lot of padding in there.
Oh, no.
This isn't like, your 3 or 4 paragraph.
It's not fluff.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the meat and potatoes from the jump. I mean, Dr. Bryce today.
With links and receipts.
Right. And Dr. Bryce today, the meat and potatoes of the state of Albemarle County Public Schools from the jump. I hope Dr. Bryce watches the program. Parents in Albemarle County, I would consider text messaging a friend and phoning a friend, because this show is going to be a show of impact. I'd like to say most of our shows are. Ginny Hu, thank you for the retweet. Like and share the show. Carol Thorpe, the Queen of Jack Jewett, watching the program. I'm feeling pretty good right now. Kate Schartz, hello. Dave Warwick, hello. Thank you for watching the program. Maria Marshall Barnes, que pasa? How are you? Jeremy Hu, hello. Carrie Rock, hello. Gary Palmer, hello. Thank you kindly for watching the program. We love when you guys watch the show. Jessica Lilly, thank you for watching the program. Stephanie Wells Rhodes, hello. Katie Pearl, hello. Janice Boyce Trevelyan, hello. Local television and local radio, hello. Scott Thorpe, Ray Cadell, Tom Thorpe, Tom Powell, Kevin Yancey, Chad Wood, Counselor Snook, Supervisor Rutherford, Greg Bartlesky, just to name a few. All right, Judah Wickower, we can rock and roll. Bill McChesney says the gloves are off. The gloves are off. All right,
That's a good one too.
Let's rock and roll, Judah.
Quiet on the set.
Good Friday afternoon, guys. I'm Jerry Miller, and thank you kindly for joining us on the I Love CVille show. It's great to be with you on the last show of the week. Today's program is loaded. Public education, the University of Virginia, food and beverage, all topics of conversation today on the I Love CVille show. We'll talk basketball on the I Love CVille show. We have a couple of interviews lined up, ladies and gentlemen, for the next couple weeks. On Thursday, the UVA Innovators of the Year will be in studio on the I Love CVille show to talk about technology that is garnering the attention of professional sports leagues, including the National Basketball Association, the NBA. On Wednesday, March 5th, Commonwealth's attorney Jim Hingley, the Commonwealth attorney in Albemarle County, will be live on the program. Mr. Hingley, a monikered by our program, one of the best dressed men in Charlottesville and Albemarle County. Very curious to see the attire Jim Hingley will don while joining us live in front of the camera on the I Love CVille show. Will Mr. Hingley be wearing a hat of some kind? Judah Wickower on the I Love CVille show. The man pulls off, is fedora the right description? It's kind of the Indiana Jones hat that he pulls off. I don't think that's quite a fedora. That's not a fedora. Are you two-shotted here? You're a man that can help me perhaps figure this out. He pulls off the Indiana Jones hat extremely well, Mr. Jim Hingley does. Always dressed to the nines, Mr. Jim Hingley. But I don't think I'm describing it accurately with the use of fedora, Judah Wickower.
The hat that I've seen Jim Hingley wearing, I don't think was a fedora.
No,
it was more like a straw. It's more like a straw hat.
Like the Indian? No.
I'm sure he's got more than one hat.
Okay, he's got more than one hat. Okay, he's got I've seen the hat that you're referencing, the Indiana Jones hat, a fedora type. Pulls the hat off. The hat look off well.
No.
A man of stature, Jim Hingley, is going to join us on the program. We have said the sharpest dressed man in the greater Charlottesville area, number one on our list is City Manager Sam Sanders. And I have been back-channeled by numerous people who watch and listen to the show who have indicated that City Manager Sam Sanders is aware that the I Love CVille program has monikered him the best dressed man in the Charlottesville area. So I offer that moniker to Sam Sanders. Genuinely, he is always flossing and in his Sunday best. All right, today's program, a lot we're going to cover today. Dr. Meg Bryce, in the news cycle again. There are few people in the Charlottesville, Albemarle, and Central Virginia region that can drive a news cycle like the embattled former school board candidate, Dr. Meg Bryce. Today, she pens a letter to the Daily Progress, which the newspaper published in totality. I salute Dr. Bryce with her courage, her resilience, her thick skin, her fortitude, and her willingness to say what many are thinking but are fearful to say.
No doubt.
I also want to finally give the Daily Progress some props for choosing to run a photo of Dr. Bryce that is much more fair to Dr. Bryce as opposed to the picture that they've chosen to run in the past, which is just, I don't know why any newspaper would choose to run photos like that. So much I want to cover on the program, including the community's response. Shockingly, I say this tongue-in-cheek, the letter has found its way across the social media platforms of choice and is now gaining significant attention on Reddit thanks to original poster Stephen Johnson, the co-chair of Livable Charlottesville, one of the key members of the Gillikin gang, who is choosing to pick apart Dr. Bryce on Reddit like Thanksgiving turkey. We will talk community response on the Friday edition of the I Love CVille show. Also on the program, Judah wants to highlight Jim Bacon's commentary on the Jefferson Council as it applies to federal funding and its allocation or lack thereof to Thomas Jefferson's University. We will talk on today's program the founder of the Flat Creperie opening a new brand. Judah, you'll have that for us. Mm-hmm. I want to talk this startling statistic that I read today on CVille, Sean Tubbs' media platform, where a lieutenant of Glenn Youngkin, the Secretary of Commerce and Trade in the Commonwealth, Karen Merrick, she highlighted that in 2024 alone, more than $400 million of federal research grant money has been allocated to Charlottesville in life science and biotechnology, and more than $90 million in equity investments has been poured into startups associated with biotechnology and life science. So in one calendar year, in the year 2024, we've had nearly $1 billion pumped into biotechnology in the city of Charlottesville. Mm-hmm. Geez Louise. That is a hell of a lot of money. Yeah. I want to highlight on today's program the fact that Lee Enterprises is not printing its newspapers. And I've highlighted this for weeks now.
Is this a continuation?
Yes, it is. The security breach. The security breach is keeping Lee Enterprises from printing its newspapers. And it's not just the Daily Progress, Judah. It's, as one emailer this morning monikered them, the OMGs. And the OMGs, Judah Wickhauer, and I will not utilize this person's name. They asked me not to. One of the reasons we get the stories and the content that we get on the I Love CVille network is we're men of our word. If someone asks for discretion or they ask to keep their name out of the topic that they're sharing with us, we honor that. Our firm, the Miller Organization, whether it's an advertising agency, venture funding, commercial, real estate, it's the confessional of business in the greater Charlottesville area. Folks come in here, they tell us the good, the bad, and the ugly. And me, a man of the cloak, what's the phrase? A man of the cloth?
You're calling yourself a man of the cloth?
A man of the business cloth. A man in the business cloth honors the discretion. Judah was absolutely disgusted by that.
Jerry Miller, pastor at the Church of
Commerce.
Church of Commerce.
The Church of Commerce of Charlottesville.
All right.
The OMGs are the Orange, Madison, and Green papers.
Okay.
They are brands of Lee Enterprises. And Lee Enterprises owns these newspapers in the Commonwealth of Virginia. Are you ready for this? In the Commonwealth of Virginia alone, Lee Enterprises owns the Daily Progress, the Richmond Times-Dispatch, the Roanoke Times, the News Virginian and Waynesboro, the Roanoke Times, I already said, the Culpeper Star and Exponent, the Danville Register and Bee, the Fredericksburg Freelance Star, the Martinsville Bulletin. I mean, geez Louise, this is like every single newspaper in the Commonwealth of Merit, except for the Daily Press in Hampton Roads and the Virginian Pilot in Hampton Roads. It also has the weeklies, the OMGs, Orange, Madison, and Green. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the last true revenue streams for print newspapers are the legal notices that are printed. Legal notices associated with development, with zoning, with permitting, ABC licenses. I'm working with clients right now that are buying a business, and the ABC license the trail needs to be papered and posted, the new license, the shift in license. And this particular emailer this morning, a person I have significant respect for, and I hope this person is watching the program. Let me check if they are. This particular individual said, hey, if they can't print the newspaper, how are they going to get the revenue from the legal notices where they were the one-trick pony in town that could publish the legal notices?
Yeah.
And this particular individual, extremely connected, said, we may be seeing in real time the final, is it the final, it's not nail in the coffin. Knell.
You could say nail in the coffin. You could say death knell.
I can say nail in the coffin.
You could say, yeah, the final
I can say
nail in the
death
coffin.
nail.
No, you
I can say death nail. You said the
I did not say you could
the
say
man of the
death
cloth
nail.
of the Church of Commerce of Charlottesville can say death nail.
No.
Okay. Death nail. Knell.
You got it.
Knnail.
Nail in the coffin, death knell.
Thank you, Judah Wickhauer. Are we seeing it, Judah, in real time?
We very well could be. I mean, how are they going to recoup the loss of that revenue?
Here's a better question.
And how long have they been down?
It's been weeks.
Yeah, weeks.
It's been weeks that this security breach is impacting the Lee Enterprises Virginia newspaper brands. Weeks, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
We're talking Lee Enterprises. I took a look at their stock chart this morning at a year-to-date low, at a 90-day plus low.
Ouch.
Deep Throat shared this either earlier this week or late last week. In addition, the vultures are circulating Lee. Quint Media, an Indian media company, and the Hoffman family have built 10% plus-ish positions within Lee Enterprises. Wow. The Hoffmans publish such marquee titles as Florida Weekly and the Mankanic Island Town Crier, and then he gives them the last kick in the nuts, Deep Throat does. The Deep Throat's situation is funnier than anything on its comic pages. Here's the question I want to ask the viewer and listener as someone, a man of the commerce cloth, the Church of Commerce here in Charlottesville. Who, I grew up as a religious mutt. I grew up Southern Baptist, raised in a Catholic school. No, grew up Southern Baptist at Walnut Creek Baptist Church, educated in a Catholic school, and raised in a Jewish neighborhood. I'm a religious mutt. Hence the religious metaphors on the program.
Growing up in a Jewish neighborhood, how often do you honestly go with friends to a temple?
I've been to temple many times.
Okay.
Many times.
But
more than I can count or remember. Catholic school had religion class every 5 days a week. Literally 5 days a week.
I mean, I'm kind of a religious mutt too. I've been to
Southern Baptist Vacation Bible School, youth group, Wednesday fellowship, big church, and then making out with the girls on the playground when no one was looking. That's part of Southern Baptist.
Is it now? Is that official?
It was for me.
Okay.
This is the question I ask you, the viewer and listener. Are you ready? What business mind, what business-oriented individual will fill the gap with papering the legal notice trail? If we do indeed see the house of cards finally collapse for Lee Enterprises and its newspaper brands in the Commonwealth, who will step up and say, I will be the one that prints the notices? Zoning, development, permitting, budget, business counsel and supervisors are doing, ABC notices and licenses. That is an effing business.
And
who is going to do that?
If nobody comes forward, those are notices that are supposed to be. They're supposed to be public.
They have to be.
Yeah, exactly.
They have to be.
So if nobody comes forward, what's the response? Do you
see? Judah looks at it from what's best for the community. I look at it from the eye of how do you make money at it.
Well, you're assuming that somebody steps forward, but if
money's one of the top drivers.
Yeah, but you're saying that you can monetize that better than a newspaper that's been doing it for years?
I'm not saying I can monetize it better. I'm saying that whoever offers that service will do it in a way where they don't have the overhead associated with running a newspaper organization. All they can have to do would be the publisher of these notifications. And that's it.
So
They
you're
won't
talking-
have this obscene overhead like printing stuff and distributing stuff and bloated payrolls.
Well, they still have to print stuff
Ink.
and distribute stuff.
Well, they would have much lower overhead.
Mm-hmm.
That's a business.
So you're talking about like a two-sheeter that goes in one
I'm
of the,
talking about someone, remember, you know how newspapers initially started? Some dude printing something on a piece of paper and handing it out to people. That's how newspapers started. Yeah. A man or a woman, probably a man, it's not a sexist comment, it's just the nature of our history, depicting of what he saw in his community, typing it out or probably writing it out on some kind of paper, and then distributing it by hand to people. Are we seeing the death knell, the final nail in the coffin, and who will jump in and take this low-hanging fruit revenue? Is this screaming Sean Tubbs?
Interesting.
Sean Tubbs. Is Sean Tubbs positioning Info CVille and his community Substack to be this gap filler? And if he is able to do that, that would strengthen his media business considerably.
So you're saying he takes his
They're
news,
sent to him.
He takes the news that no, I know, but I'm saying, are you suggesting that he would take his news, combine it with the notices, and then use the revenue from the notices to print all of this and put it in one of the boxes?
I'm
not saying that's a bad idea.
I'm saying Sean Tubbs gets the revenue from printing the
know.
notices to expand his media operation and expand his media operation in a much more efficient and bootstrap way than what ended up being the demise of newspapers.
But why wouldn't he combine his own news with those notices?
Of course he would.
Yeah, well, that's what I said.
He would make it more robust, what he's offering each day.
Yeah.
He's already scouring the legal notices on the Daily Progress for content for his daily publication. What if the I Love CVille network became the notice of record? City of Charlottesville, Albemarle County, Nelson County, Fluvanna County, ABC license changes. It's going to cost you $495 a notice. Whatever the effing fee is. That's a business waiting to happen.
Yeah.
The Church of Commerce here in Charlottesville. 2 men of the cloth. All right, our lead headline, if you want to put the lower third on screen. An article penned and written by Dr. Meg Bryce in the Daily Progress. 1 paragraph, 2 paragraphs, 3 paragraphs, 4 paragraphs, 6 paragraphs, very succinct.
Mm-hmm.
Should I read the 6 paragraphs? I could probably read them in about a minute.
Sure.
This is from Dr. Bryce, who ran for the at-large seat in the Albemarle County School Board, for the Albemarle County School Board last year. Maybe the most talked about school board campaign in American history. Certainly in Central Virginia history, certainly in Commonwealth history. A school board race that garnered national media attention. I'm talking the New York Times.
Mm-hmm.
This is what she wrote, which the Progress published in totality, and thank goodness gracious they used a different photo. And shame on the Progress for the previous pictures. I've been in that position before with unflattering photography in the newspaper. It's only going to create the death of 1,000 cuts for you guys. Progress. This is what she writes. Last July, I was proud to be nominated by Governor Glenn Youngkin to serve on the Virginia Board of Education. It was an honor to serve in that capacity until last week when my confirmation was rejected by Virginia Democrats in the General Assembly. On the floor of the state Senate, Charlottesville's Senator Cree Deeds could not, or he would not, provide a reason for his party rejecting my appointment other than that they find me to be inconsistent with their goals and values. When Senator Cree Deeds and other Democrats were pushed to articulate exactly what those goals and values are, they dissembled. We are left to guess at their goals and values. For the former, they seem to believe that the goals of public education are to employ as many adults and to graduate as many students possible. Note, graduate does not necessarily mean educate. Their values are more nebulous. They seem to believe that what should be most valued in public education is funding administrative bloat. Them fighting words right there. That's my talking right there. Them fight words. Let me continue.
I think you got to add the ... and these are all somewhat.
She's straight up.
She's savage.
That's savage. That's savage. Good, great word right there, Jude. That's straight up savage. That's calling out Dr. Matthew Haas right there and the Albemarle County School Board. That's savage right there. That's effing savage. She continues. Tolerating mediocre outcomes? Question mark. That's also savage. She also says avoiding accountability at all costs. That's effing savage right there. She continues. Denying low-income families more options for educating their children. More savage. Then she concludes with this. Last year in Albemarle County Public Schools, only 50% of all 8th grade students passed the standards of learning mathematics tests. 13 points below the state average. I'm going to say that again. That's a terrifying number. Albemarle County Public Schools that's spending nearly $20,000 per pupil to educate a kid over the course of a school year. I'm going to give you that statistic again that she wrote in the Daily Progress. Last year, 50% of all 8th grade students passed the SOL math test, 13 points below the Commonwealth average. Furthermore, Dr. Bryce writes, the results are even more bleak when broken down by demographics. Only 33% of black students, only 35% of Hispanic students, and only 36% of economically disadvantaged students pass the 8th grade math SOL. Jeez Louise. Those are my words. Those aren't hers. Jeez Louise. And she concludes this by saying this. I believe that there is one clear goal in public education, to educate children well, and that we should value above all else educating children well. I am proud to be inconsistent with goals and values that are terrible for Virginia's children. That's the most savage of all their lines.
Yep.
Judah Wickower at the 1 o'clock marker on the Friday edition of the I Love CVille show on a glorious day to be above the mud. Where do you want to begin, my friend?
I want to begin with the responses. I mean,
you want to how the community is responding?
Yeah.
That's how you want to begin? You don't want to begin with savage.
Well, we've established that. I mean, she doesn't pull her punches, and I obviously some people can find fault in what she's saying here, but I don't think she makes any. She asks some questions. I don't think she's making any blanket statements that are like one of the last paragraphs is just facts. Albemarle County Public Schools, only 50% of all 8th grade students passed the math SOLs.
Jeez.
And she makes a good point that maybe
Black and brown students in Albemarle County Public Schools are straight up failing black and brown students, ladies and gentlemen.
And we look.
A third of black and brown students are passing the SOL math in the 8th grade. Mm-hmm. A third of black and brown students, and economically disadvantaged students, are passing 8th grade SOL math.
And looking at the broader.
How are you going to pursue a legitimate form of professional income earning and professional trajectory if you cannot do basic math?
But more than that, if you're going to school, shouldn't you be learning the math that you're being taught before you get moved on to the next grade?
And that's the point she makes in the article, in her letter.
Yeah.
She says graduating does not mean educating.
Yeah.
You know what that's throwing, you know what that's highlighting? That's social promotion. She's saying Albemarle County Public Schools in this letter is taking its most marginalized student body, its most marginalized students in its body, And it's socially promoting them. They may be graduating, but they're not educating them.
Right.
They're graduating them, but they're not educating them.
And this ties into the broader problem of and why this current administration is what's the word I'm looking for? Not happy with the Department of Education, because we're spending more and more money every year on schools, and what is the return on that investment?
Savage. Carol Thorpe, the Queen of Jack Jewett, her photo on screen. Those educational statistics are brutal in all caps. She says we need Dr. Bryce's help. I mentioned this live on air. There's a reason private school enrollment in Central Virginia is growing. You look at many of the private schools in Central Virginia, they're looking to expand buildings and infrastructure on their respective campuses so they can enroll more students. Mm-hmm. Community response to Dr. Bryce's letter. Would you care to put that in perspective for us? Man of the cloth of the Church of Charlottesville, the Commerce Church of Charlottesville, Judah.
That's not my church, but...
What would your church be, by the way?
I mean, I go to a church on the regular.
Judah's so you're so anti-capitalism.
What? Am I?
You seem to be from time to time. Even though capitalism pays your mortgage, your bills.
I don't have a problem with capitalism. It's what it's morphed into. People act like everything in America is just capitalism. But Amazon putting smaller businesses out of business is not capitalism. There's a lot more going on than just, this is market capitalism. And some of it is not working. So I don't have a problem with capitalism. I just have a problem with some of the outcomes and the fact that everybody smushes it all together and says this is fine. Let's go back to the dog sitting in the flaming room.
I just learned that meme the other day. It's
not fine.
I just learned that meme the other day. Kate, the Queen of Ivy, sent me that meme. Deep Throat sent me that meme. And my wife chastised me the evening after the show for not knowing that meme, saying, this is me most days with the Miller Maniacs.
Study your memes, folks, so that you're never caught unawares.
Ginny Who watching the program. Then you get the community responses to Dr. Bryce's letter. Mm-hmm. Giddy up and get ready, viewers and listeners. Ginny Who says Dr. Bryce raises points that should concern all of us. I applaud her for writing this. Ginny Who says our son was just recommended for a prestigious scholarship. As homeschoolers, we had to provide proof of curriculum and books read, which I understand, but these days public school students should have to show the same proof.
Amen.
Ginny Who, dropping dimes right there. Love it. Dropping 50-cent, dropping $100 bill, dropping knowledge, dropping diamonds, diamond hands. Ginny Who right there. I just watched Dumb Money again. Have you seen Dumb Money? It's absolutely fantastic.
Maybe.
I love Dumb Money. I watched it again the other day. All right, community responses. Judah Wickhauer, what do you got? These community responses are blowing my mind.
I know.
First, the original poster, the OP in this Reddit thread, is the co-chair of Livable CVille.
So you say.
I know.
Okay. Well, some of this is unhinged.
Some of this.
Well, there are some people backing her up. One, I think, maybe two.
One person back.
Because most people don't want to stick their neck out in this city.
People are terrified. Another reason I applaud Dr. Bryce.
Yeah.
When she wrote this letter and hit send on email to the Daily Progress catch-all editor inbox, she probably had these emotions running through her body when she said, I can't even imagine what she was feeling. What did I just do? God, the community needs to read this. They need to truly understand what's going on. I need to stand up for my family. Did I really stand up for my family by writing this? What's the reaction going to be? I don't care what the reaction's going to be. Kind of, I really do care what the reaction is because I'm a human being. People are going to be nasty again. I don't care if they're nasty again. I'm Dr. Bryce, damn it. But what happens if my kids hear it? I mean, it's the gambit of emotions. And take it from someone, deaf now? Take it from someone who understands this theory.
Gamut.
Take it from someone who understands what I'm talking about firsthand, who 5 days a week in front of a lot of people is an open book and is in the ideology crossfire, in particular in a community like Charlottesville and Albemarle County. Community response to the commentary from Dr. Bryce. Judah Wickower, the show is yours.
I mean, from calling her an incompetent scam artist.
That was
a nepo baby.
Who called her an incompetent scam artist in red? Was that the personal economics handle?
No.
It was not?
No.
Okay. What he had to say, the original poster, the co-chair of Livable CVille.
Oh, I'm getting to that.
Okay, all right. Keep offering some perspective. I'll be quiet. Viewers and listeners, this is what the response has been. And the letter has been up for an hour. 1 hour.
Yeah.
Wait till the letter makes it through this entire weekend.
I mean, I'm not even going to read what he has to say.
Read it.
But
read it.
Read it? I mean, he's got multiple ones. He's got a long one that basically reiterates the letter, and he has another one. Okay, I'll read it. I'm really only interested in this final statement, but he says, "I am fascinated how Meg Bryce, who would probably be unknown if her father wasn't a Supreme Court justice, is still so utterly clueless after being rejected 2 times by the democratic process. She decided it might be a good idea to rant in the Daily Progress about how she was wronged and knows best what would make education better," none of which I think she stated. "There is a sense of entitlement that is born of..."
Okay, no, who's the handle? This is the original poster.
Yeah.
This is the co-chair of Livable CVille here.
There is a sense
who works at the University of Virginia.
Okay. "There is a sense of entitlement that is born of privileged that can't fathom their worldview isn't gospel." That should be, he should rewrite that. Anyways. And finally he says, "Why does she hate democracy so much?" This coming from, so democracy is having a school board populated by people that all think the same way. And if you disagree or are part of a political party that is the other side of the aisle, then you're not welcome.
You're tarred and feathered.
You're not welcome. You're lambasted, and apparently you hate democracy. Do these flavors go well together? Do they? I struggle to find the logic behind that final statement.
Can I get an amen from Judah Wickower? Viewers and listeners, if you're listening to the program right now, how about an amen?
Does she hate democracy, really?
Do they understand what the word democracy means?
I mean, but we don't like you because you're a...
different.
You're different.
You're different.
And so rather than discuss, what democracy means, we're going to call names. We're going to...
spray paint your signs.
Just be nasty.
Tar and feather you.
Nasty and spiteful.
Emasculate. Can you emasculate?
Yeah, I mean...
Emasculate you.
Doesn't have to be about men.
Does it have to be about men or no?
No.
You're certain?
It doesn't have to be. I mean, it's...
Then they emasculated her because they're just basically saying that she's her late father.
Yeah.
Setting women back. Basically, the 2025 version of put an apron on and stay in the kitchen. Basically, that's what that behavior is.
That's a succinct way of putting it.
Disgusting, but that's what they're saying.
Yeah.
John Blair on LinkedIn. At Albemarle High School in the latest SOL stats, think about this. There were 22 students who scored advanced on the science SOL. How many were black or Hispanic? 1. In math, 28 students scored advanced on the math SOL. How many were black or Hispanic? 1. John Blair says black and Hispanic students make up 37% of the student body at Albemarle High School. Mm-hmm. I'll give that to you again because I should have read that more succinctly. At Albemarle High School in the latest SOL stats, think about this, Jerry. There were 22 students who scored advanced on the science SOL. How many of those 22 were black or Hispanic? There was just 1. In math, 28 students scored advanced on the math SOL. How many were black or Hispanic? Just 1. And then he highlights that black and Hispanic students make up 37% of the student body at Albemarle High School. And then he adds, I would think any human being would be concerned about those statistics if they had any heart whatsoever. Let's go to the Queen of Ivy, Kate. Those kind of numbers, and yet no hope for change in sight. Very discouraging. Matt Haas is not going to magically change despite the stats he has to see. No, what he's going to do, and Kate's exactly right, and she knows she's exactly right. Albemarle County Public Schools is going to solve. Stacy Baker Patty says, amen, JW.
Thank you.
Pump in amen in the comment section or hammer the like button if you think Judah Wickower was on point there. I'm hammering the like button for you right now. Amen, Judah. For Sally in the back, amen. What Matt Haas is going to do to solve this problem is hire third-party expensive consultants. He's going to go to the Albemarle County Board of Supervisors and say, we need more money. We need more money. Is it 60%, Judah? 60% of Albemarle County's yearly budget is associated with public schools in Albemarle County. And Matt Haas and the school board are going to say, we need more money.
Why?
Throw more money at the problem. And this is what's going to happen. This is what's going to happen. Hear me out. Hear me out. This is what's going to happen. Hold that thought. If you have to mark it down so you don't forget it.
Can I just say that she mentioned dissembling in the letter?
They're going to say, Board of Supervisors, give us more money. And then the Board of Supervisors are going to respond by giving the school board more money to spend because Matt Haas has the school board in his pocket. Front pocket, back pocket, jacket pocket. Do bow ties have pocket? He likes bow ties. Bow tie pockets, fedora pocket, corduroy pants pocket, overcoat pocket, all the pockets. He's got the school board in all the pockets. And when Haas and the school board asks the Board of Supervisors for more money, Board of Supervisors says, here's the checkbook. This is how we're going to get the money. We're going to get the money by going to every homeowner in Albemarle County, and we're going to get more money off their homes, more taxes on their rooftops. And what they don't effing realize is it's a vicious, vicious, vicious domino effect. Because as they tax the rooftops, they make the rooftops in Albemarle County less affordable. And as the rooftops in Albemarle County become less affordable, all they're doing is creating a baseline of residents that are wealthy and homogenous. And as they create a baseline of residents that are wealthy and homogenous, this baseline that's moving in that can afford the real estate is the same baseline that is driving up the enrollment numbers at the private schools. And as the private school numbers and enrollment numbers go up, because that's the people that can afford to live in the county, the public school numbers, Weldon Cooper highlighted this, their enrollment numbers will decrease.
Means they'll get less money.
So they'll get less money because money, funding for the public schools is tied to enrollment.
Yeah.
Do you see what's happening? It doesn't take rocket science to see through the political bullshit. But what it does take is people that have thick skin, fortitude, courage, foresight, a platform to highlight it for the community. And then it's up to the community to eventually say, enough already with the BS.
Can we even call it political BS Wouldn't it be?
What do you
Wouldn't
call
it
it?
be more accurate to call it incompetence?
No, it's political BS. It's political gamesmanship. It's a political hustle. It's a hustle. It's the guy on the corner of 10th and Lex with the cardboard box and the 3 cups with the little ball on it. Move the cup around, I'll bet you $10. Of course you win the $10 bet. All right, let's up the bet to 100. And next thing you know, you can't figure out where the ball is under the cup. You know why you can't find the ball under the cup after you've lost $300? Because the guy palmed the ball. It's not under any of the cups. Mm-hmm. It's political gamesmanship.
But that would imply that the money is going somewhere, which I would guess
it's
that
going
you're
to bloated salaries.
And
insane funding requests that are paying people to live lives of leisure as opposed to educating the students on the financial margin. That's where it's going. To pocket squares and bow ties and fedoras and corduroys and jackets. And not to textbooks and SOHCAHTOA. You know what SOHCAHTOA is?
Yeah.
What?
It's sine, cosine, tangent.
No. What's SOHCAHTOA?
Sine. Wait. Sine is opposite over adjacent.
So.
Oh, opposite over hypotenuse.
Oh, okay.
Cosine is adjacent
No.
over hypotenuse.
Opposite over adjacent. Toa.
How is ka
Gotta make
opposite
sure I
over adjacent? That's tangent.
Ka is opposite over hypotenuse.
AH.
Yeah, opposite over hypotenuse. No, is it adjacent over
opposite.
hypotenuse?
That's what I just said.
8th grade SOL, damn it.
And TOA
Too
is
much making out with
opposite
girls.
over adjacent.
Not enough time in the textbooks. Where's my TI-81?
Oh, man.
What was the game we played on the TI-81s? Wasn't the game Drug Wars on the TI-81?
I never
TI-82?
had a TI-81.
The TI-81 and the TI-82 was before your time?
I guess.
I think
Or maybe
the
we were
TI-81
just
or
too.
TI-82
Or maybe
was-
we were just too poor to afford the Texas Instruments.
So opposite or over hypotenuse, ka, adjacent over hypotenuse, toa, opposite over adjacent. SOHCAHTOA. Mr. Gillespie, I love you dearly. May you rest in power, my friend. Carol Thorpe, he is purposely confusing democracy with Democrats. What a maroon. Stacy Baker Patty throws up the 100 emoji for the team over here. Randy O'Neill says, when I was Stone Robinson's cheerleader during my time there, the school was fully accredited and all the children passed the health assessment. I would, if you could offer more clarity there on Mr. O'Neill, on more context on your comment there, that would be great, because I would like to offer your perspective for the viewers and listeners. Well, I encourage you to read the Dr. Bryce letter. It's 6 or 7 paragraphs that is literally going viral right now on the interwebs. And I close by saying the Dr. Bryce not being on the school board, is the loss of Albemarle County.
No doubt.
And its public school system. Because when you get a bunch of yes men and a bunch of yes women on the school board, you get results where a third of black and brown students in the 8th grade can't do math.
Yeah.
You get 50% of all 8th grade students passing the SOL math tests. And we're just seeing the early stages of this. Mm-hmm. This problem, this is yet more collateral damage from COVID. And this problem really started gaining momentum when the government said, you can't go and learn in person in school. You have to learn via a computer screen, and you can't learn in person with your peers. Despite your private school contemporaries learning in person, you public school students have to stay at home and learn in your tighty-whities and your bathrobes and your coat closets and your kitchen tables.
So it's sad but true, but the fact is that those kids will eventually phase out of school. They'll either go on to college or
No, they still have to make it through high school.
I know that, but they will eventually, and
It's going to be the lost generation. It will be a generation of lost students that had to mature through their most formidable years at a time where their brains were still developing, through a COVID pandemic where they fell behind historically education-wise, they fell behind historically socialization-wise, maturation-wise, at a time where us as adults thought what was best for kids was to put YouTube and computer screens and TikToks and Reels in front of them, when their brains were highly addictive to quick twitching and changing videos. I tell the story all the time. Our 6-year-old can be watching Reels on YouTube. We don't even let him watch YouTube anymore. My wife has deleted YouTube from every screen that we have. The only thing he's watching right now is PBS Kids. Because we literally were sitting on the couch next to him while he was watching YouTube Reels. I was holding a pack of Starbursts while sitting next to him on the couch, holding the pack, saying, I have your favorite candy. You can eat all these Starbursts. It's right before bedtime. All the pink Starbursts that you want, here they are. And he was on YouTube Reels, did not even hear me.
yeah.
That's drugs. That's drugs. That's worse than drugs.
Yeah.
You're smoking some weed, you're going to want to eat the pink Starbursts. You're hungry, you got the munchies.
I hate to say it though, but that has nothing to do with COVID.
All this is collateral damage from COVID. These kids started falling behind during COVID, dude.
They may have.
These are 8th graders. They were in 4th grade during COVID. They started falling behind in COVID just because they can't pass the math. Because they can't pass the math SOL in 8th grade. These are building blocks that were lost in 4th, 5th, and 6th grade.
I understand that, but giving them YouTube has nothing to do.
Oh, that's an additional
nothing
thing.
to do with COVID.
During COVID, they weren't going to school. They were learning school on screen, and they had no supervision. So while they were learning school on screen because they had no supervision, and as mommies and mommies and daddies and daddies and mommies and daddies were trying to do their work at the same time their kids were learning from home, they were doing more screen time than ever before.
I know.
Building an addiction, changing human behaviors, adolescent behavior. This is all collateral COVID damage.
Okay.
We don't truly realize the damage that COVID has caused the American population. We don't realize it. We're still navigating it. Topic for a different day. Next, gosh, 125. We're deep into this. We have other stories we've got to cover. I covered the Daily Progress not printing its newspapers, right? Did you get that lower third on screen? Can you put that on there?
Yeah, let's see.
How are the legal notices? How is the community finding out about governmental legal notices if the newspaper is not printing? Sincerely mean that. Here's a better question. Can taxpayers in the community, if they don't agree with some kind of zoning or permitting or development news or coming and going, can they sue their respective jurisdiction because the notice was never printed, because the newspaper's not printing? Legally, they have to give notice of what's happening. And if the notice is not making into print and papering the trail, can people sue the jurisdiction and say, you did not do this right? And keep zoning or development or some kind of permitting from happening? I sincerely am asking that question. And the second part of the question I'm going to ask you is, what entrepreneur is going to fill the void if Lee Enterprise, the house of cards, crumbles? And who's going to become the paper of record?
It doesn't even have to crumble if they
They can't print. It's been weeks and they can't print the newspaper.
I'm saying if somebody comes along and signs up the government to take over that, the paper wouldn't even have to crumble. It'd just be a matter of further further death nailing.
Good job. Definitely.
Thank you.
Next topic. What do you got? We got to get the flat creperie.
That is a good one.
The founder of the Flat Creperie on Water Street
Yep.
is opening a new brand. That's a Judah headline, and that's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Give us that one, Judah.
Laura McRaven was the original founder of the Flat, what is it? The Flat, Takeaway Creperie, I believe was the full title. Great little spot.
Great spot.
I
love the Nutella Creperie.
What?
I love the Nutella crepe.
Oh,
You're not a sweets guy.
not really.
I love sweets.
I think
My wife got me a tin of Reese's peanut butter cups for Valentine's Day, and I could not have been happier.
Oh, nice.
And then she made us some Cinnabons.
I think my favorite
Love
was
that lady.
what was like it was like egg and sausage and
that one was good.
and spinach. That was amazing. Wonderful little spot. She eventually sold it before, if memory serves correctly, she went to do missionary work I think in Haiti, but I could be wrong about that. Anyways, she is back, and she has opened I believe it's a sandwiches and bowls spot. The name is...
I like bowls.
The name is the Maple Tree Cafe, and it is located at 920 9.5th Street Northeast. And they open to a snowy debut on Wednesday.
Go support her. Give them the location again.
920 9.5th Street.
I don't know streets.
Northeast.
Can you just give me a landmark where that's close to, please?
Let's see.
I get lost driving home from work.
That's bad.
I need the GPS to literally navigate a community I've been in for 25 years.
Let's see.
Is there a landmark that you can give me that's next to? See, you don't even know a landmark that it's next to.
The numbered streets have never
No one
helped
knows
me.
them. It's like no one can spell anymore because of autocorrect. No one can spell anymore because we spell using text messaging, and no one can spell anymore because of Microsoft Word and autocorrect. And no one knows the roads anymore because we all just use our GPS in our cars. It's the dumbification and the stupefaction of the American population. The way you can get smarter in America, and I'm just going to be very frank, very sincere. You want to get smarter in America, the best way to do it, you know what it is, Judah?
What's that?
Do you know? It's a very clear-cut answer.
The best way to get smart?
Smarter if you're in America. Smarter if you're in Charlottesville and Elmore County.
Read.
Listen and watch the I Love CVille show, Monday through Friday, 12:30 to 1:30. Judah Wickhauer and her show.
This is, her place is right over behind Piedmont Casa.
I don't know where Piedmont Casa
the love
is.
of Pete. You know where Cumbre is?
Okay, there you go. The Cumbre Coffee Shop?
It's like, so 9.5.
Okay, it's right close to High Street.
Is a block
Right
over.
near the old Martha Jefferson Hospital. How's that? Everyone knows where that is.
So it's like a block one way and a block and a half.
From the old Martha Jefferson Hospital.
Yeah,
There you go.
It's pretty
Landmark.
close to
Martha Jefferson Hospital, the old one, downtown,
there. Yeah.
North downtown. There it is. Flood her with your dollars. Support her.
Find the Maple Tree Cafe on Facebook. There you can see the where it's located. It looks like it's in a house.
It's in a house. For the sake of time, what is the next headline we got here?
We're kind of jumping around. Let's see. You want
Save Jefferson Council for next week. We're going to have to spend more time on that. Other headline you got?
I think that's pretty much it. Unless you want to talk about the federal grants or...
Okay, I'll give you this statistic as a conversation starter for your cocktail party this weekend. We got a little cocktail shindig. Karen Merrick is the Commonwealth of Virginia's Secretary of Commerce and Trade. She is one of Glenn Youngkin's lieutenants. She offered this statistic, which you can read on Sean Tubbs's infocville.com. The headline of the article is, Real estate firm cites life sciences sector as big economic driver in 2024 year in review. Interestingly, Jenny Stoner and Johnny Pritzloff, who are fantastic at their job, senior vice presidents at Tallheimer, fantastic brokers, fantastic at their job, significant holdings in around this community and Waynesboro. Clearing sidewalks, just kidding, guys. They highlight the impact of biotechnology in the life science sector. Jenny and Johnny do. And then Karen Merrick says this, in 2024, in just the year 2024, there was more than $400 million of federal grant money allocated to life sciences and biotechnology. In the year 2024, there was more than $90 million invested in life science startups and biotechnology startups. That means in 2024, 1 year, according to the Virginia Secretary of Commerce and Trade, nearly $500 million in the city of Charlottesville was invested in biotechnology and life sciences. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you right now, you have a sector that is going to transform Charlottesville and Albemarle County for the good and the bad. For the good and the bad. If you're a homeowner, you're going to have significant equity and significant value add. If you're trying to get in the game, you're probably screwed. Not trying to be a dick, but you're going to face a lot of difficulty here because you're going to have thousands of people coming in the next 12 to 18 months that have deep six-figure jobs, ladies and gentlemen, that are going to be taking up your houses that you want to buy. Get in now. Get in now. And the last topic on the show, the University of Virginia is seeking redemption on Saturday in Blacksburg with a 2 p.m. tip-off against the Virginia Tech Hokies. Ron Sanchez is trying to make a convincing case why he should be the next head coach of Virginia. 2 p.m. on the CW network, the worst network possible for the best rivalry in the Commonwealth. Why is this not on the ACC network or on national TV? Makes no sense to me. Judah Wickhauer, Jerry Miller, the I Love CVille show, where we spare no punches. Just like someone we respect, Dr. Meg Bryce, who is fearless in her pursuit of educational excellence. So long, everybody.